you have any question, my friend? Suji, do you have any question? Not yet. They might come later. And yourself, Joao, Oleg? Okay. So I have a couple of questions. Not myself, but somebody have asked already a question. I will share it with you. And I have a few questions pending for a very long list. I have almost 380 questions to be answered. So I do answer as much as I can, but sometimes you can't get every answer in 145 minutes of Sangha or weekly. I believe everybody's been having a great summer or end of the summer, the autumn. But it's important part, if we learn from a nature, what we learn from the nature is nature gives whatever actually it produces, not for itself, but just to be share. If one, like at the tree, just we are heading into autumn. Just before autumn, there was either a lot of apples and pears and other fruits. Can you imagine? You go to an apple tree say, "No, you can't have it. This is mine." You understand? So similarly, if you develop any awareness, any knowledge, and you claim it is yours, it be just get rotten, Most of them will just rot on the tree. For majority of the fruit, similarly the river. If a river flow, you can't take my water, water belongs to me. And you start creating discrimination in the process of sharing the water, who can have it, who can't have it. There will be a not abundance. So abundance is not something having too much. Abundance is also having a ability to share, that you are open to share. That's where one perspective of abundance can come into place. I was talking yesterday in the evening by the fire about the human nature. You remember all of that? In life, most of the time, I think that question may fit very well to Joao. He asked me a long time ago, same question. If you are competing, competition is not bad, but if you know your own abilities, that you are not trying to prove anybody wrong in a process of your own growth. If your effort is to prove somebody else wrong, prove yourself right, that is a very unhealthy mindset. But when I studied, the most times think is how can my life be so that person I would be doing exactly the same, but you are happy, I'm not happy, I need to prove yourself, or I need to prove myself that to be happy. The first person, you have nobody to prove to. That is the false monopoly. There is absolutely no one that one have to prove to. Only person, if you try to prove yourself to somebody else, there will be something else that will grow up. You have to again prove. You will have a constant struggle. Constant struggle. You cannot even find a moment of peace. Is important part as an all human being is not think about who's right and who's wrong. Remove the subject out of the equation. Who's right, who's wrong. If you spend your time looking all the time who's right, who's wrong in every scenario, you will be living from a constantly a fake ego and constantly trying to build up, constantly trying to pump your own ego. In that process, you may hurt somebody, even you might be very kind and compassionate person. But your process is ego driven, that will be a problem. But how you can still have your viewpoint in life without pointing the finger or making somebody look right or wrong, but remove the subject. Think about what is right, what is wrong. Not who's right, who's wrong. It's still the same. You're still utilizing your viveka, you're still utilizing your intelligence, you're still utilizing your capacity of knowledge, but you remove away the pointing the finger. And when you stop pointing the finger, there is a lot more harmony, there's a lot more a self compassion. There's also like there's less of the proving of the ego is there. So we just say that what is right, what is wrong. If you can have that, used to be back in the days the concept of debate. But nowadays debate is almost everybody try to prove that I know more than that person. But used to be a research analysis is all about factorizing something to getting to the bottom of the truth. And there are 10 people contributing to try to find out what exactly the factors are, what actually the real truth is. That was there is two types of truth as well. One is matter-based truth, one is your eternal truth. All the rishis and sages and the yogis and sadhus, their all entire focus was to understanding what is the eternal truth is. Once you external truth is constantly changing. There's one truth that constantly changing as per your level of sense understanding. But your inner truth is constantly expanding, but not changing is nature. Nature remains the same, but the volume changes. Like you are happier, you get more happier and happier. But happiness is the same. Like bliss is the same. You can't change. This bliss is because of our listening music. Again, objectified. So once your bliss becomes your eternal nature, bliss just is growing. You can be blissful in moment, a periodic, or you can be constant. So that is the volume changing. But the truth externally say the based on the matter, as you understand the matter, and the knowledge about that matter will change time to time. That is a external truth. So again, how you can remain compassionate and avoid animosity or around your circle or the people, whoever it is, if you're having any dialogue with anyone, no matter is your work colleague or your friends or the families, or I remember I was teaching once, I think it would have been so distant. The camera angle was slightly different. Said, "You were doing wrong, Yogi." I said, "So distant." I remember it very clearly. I will not name the person because I don't do the naming things unless. Then I said, "Possibly I am human being, can do make mistakes. Please do correct me. How can I improve?" So if I take it personally, I will say, "How dare you judge me that I'm doing the wrong so to stand." But everybody has the capacity. So try to find a way, remain open to learning, be receptive. If you don't like it, if you resist, instead of being receptive, when you're receptive, you learn it, you may find something meaningful that you may transform yourself. If not, it came to you, you were receptive, and you bypass it. But when you become a resistance, you create you wasting your energy in defense, and that is actually total waste of energy. So more receptive, if you don't like it, let it pass. So at least you still maintain the whoever tried to give you advice, they still remain the friendly terms. So it's important if you have any knowledge, the first thing you should develop, be receptive from remain open to learning and be receptive. Second, is not to prove that you are right or the other person is wrong, because other person will do the same. And then it becomes like two egos, the two bulls are fighting, and whatever the truth was gets squeezed between the two people's egos. And you never get to know the creative perspective of it. You lose the harmony, you lose the compassion, you lose the love, you lose the kindness, you lose that tenderness that you have between two people. So if you remove that right or wrong of the person, but what is right, what is wrong, and have a discussion, understanding about that, you will have a completely different outcome of it. So be receptive as much as you can and change the way you approach the discussion or the dialogue with anybody you are having, to maintain the peace and the sense of self-harmony and self-awareness. But remember, whenever you get angry, you lose oja, you lose teja. And if you remember, if you ever got angry in the past, do you feel drained afterward? You have not done anything, but you feel completely drained, tired. Why? It's not because you invest a lot of amount of energy or fighting into it, but your energy was gone against the inflammation within your body. Whenever you are angry, you create inflammation in the body, which is toxicity in the body. And your entire nervous system, all the energy in your body, start fighting to recover from that inflammation, and you feel really exhausted and tired. Sometimes you can't recover immediately. Your adrenal can't produce enough. Your adrenal kicks in, but can't produce enough energy to recover you from that anger, the disappointment, the frustration, or the whatever the disagreement your senses are feeling at that time. So what it end up, it just takes maybe 2 days and 3 days. What energy is supposed to produce to keep the life going now is gone in recuperating. trying to recover the inflammation the body had created. So whenever you get angry, you lose ojas, which is your glow basically, your inner strength, energy that is constantly your life force you're losing. You lose the tejas, the glow that you like little happiness. After somebody being angry, if you see them, they're completely drained and tired. They lose the vitality on the face as well. So their immediate response, the long-term outcome will be different. But you immediately your body symptoms shows on your body. So it's simple advice. Whatever they're saying, they're offering it to you. I always give a one thing that somebody is diabetic. Yeah. Somebody is diabetic, allergic to the sweet, and you love giving sweets. And you go and visiting your friend, and let's forget about sweets. Somebody has a allergen, and you taking those tulip flowers. But the tulip, you don't take tulips, like the very smelly ones, yeah. And you take them, and the person have a very strong hay fever. As soon as you walk in the house, the person said, please don't bring the flowers, leave them outside. And the flowers remain outside. And when you leave, the flowers, where the flowers are? With you, because you took them, person didn't take it. So whenever somebody is offering you any energy or the frustration, anger, whichever energy somebody directing it to you, if you don't participate in it, where does it stay? With that person who was offering it to you. The moment you start participating, either receiving or defending, you have taken it. You became a part of it. Either you have so much ability that you can transform like ocean. The ocean of love, you can give as much as you like, negativity, positivity, all become one bubble. Because negativity, positivity is all energy. If it sticks to you, it becomes negative. It makes you happy, becomes positive. If you can remain neutral, doesn't matter what somebody give it to you, negative or positive, if you just show that energy, you channel it, you transform it. Did that make sense to you? So either you develop the ability to be completely neutral, remain receptive, process it, observe it, and transform it. If you don't like it, then let it go. Or just don't participate. They're saying what they're saying, you remain in this mudra. I'm like in humbleness, basically. The prayer position is not a shield of defense. It is a humbleness. Somebody attacking you, just go in humbleness. The softness happens in the heart chakra. There's less likely somebody will attack you. You try to attack me, I will just go like this, a smile. Would you feel like attacking? Probably not. Immediately change the mood of the atmosphere and environment. But there are some people who do that as well. They will say, okay, it's a weak, let's take advantage of it. So, but don't be so weak either. So you need to find that balance. I have another question. Anybody have a question? Okay. And online, anybody? This side? Okay, I'm checking. I have a question. What is Krishna consciousness? You know Krishna consciousness? You have seen Hare Krishna? Yeah. They call, they are part of a Krishna consciousness. A very is one Chaitanya. Chetana is awareness. Consciousness is your bhavana, like you are conscious, your emotions, your senses are constantly conscious of one particular energy. Does that make sense? Like in the Krishna consciousness, somebody can have a Christ consciousness, somebody can have Shiva consciousness, somebody can have Buddha consciousness, somebody can have the atheist consciousness. It does not belong into anything or nothing. That is also a consciousness. When your entire energy within your body, through all of your senses, align with the values and the ethos, that is giving you an inspiration for a self-growth and self-transformation, to cultivating the greater well-being of your mind, your emotion, and the physical body, to be within the society, and what is the ultimate purpose of being in this human body. Somebody can have a money consciousness. Somebody 24/7, all of the senses are only thinking about money. That person will have a money consciousness. There are some people, attention consciousness, and which is pretty much 99% of the people are. It's the truth. If people may say, "Oh no, I don't look for attention," it's absolutely wrong. Deep down, there is a little bit. Do you like to look well for yourself? You are giving yourself attention again. So there was a famous story. There was one person got himself a beautiful ring. This about a lady. Actually, I will not call the gender because it becomes a problem nowadays. So if somebody got himself or herself some bracelet, and they're walking around every day, pointing out in every direction to get somebody notices such a beautiful bracelet for yourself. But nobody noticed. Nobody said anything. It's okay. I wasted so much time and effort, set the house to the fire. And the house is burning. Now everybody come along. And then the person, that woman going along, only making sure that sleeves are up. Everybody can see that bracelet, and throwing the buckets of water, telling you fire there, pointing the finger, but not doing, because we want to show the bracelet. And somebody there said, "But did you got a beautiful bracelet in the hand?" Said, "If you had said that a week ago, or even yesterday, at least I would not have to, but I would still have my house." I only set the house to fire so you can acknowledge it. Sometimes you can go to a certain extent, especially on a spiritual path. Material is a different story. They are already doing it. If you're a spiritual path, at least drop that attention mentality. So in relation to a Krishna consciousness, when your senses, Krishna represent knowledge, Krishna represent ethics, Krishna represent dharma, the values of karma, how to be in life. If you read Bhagavad Gita, you can see it is very contradictory sometimes. When you're reading Bhagavad Gita, how can the Bhagavad Gita is a message of massacre can be the noble for peace, for human. You are constantly 24/7 in dund. It's like you are having an inner battle inside you. 24/7. You are battling with against yourself with about certain emotion or something else, whatever is going, unless you are in completely, absolutely in bliss, then you are fighting against that bliss to remain permanently, not to be lost. There's also a battle. So Krishna, in Bhagavad Gita, there is a lot of knowledge about Karma Yoga, Karma, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, overall how one should be while you are in the body. And understanding about one's own senses, understanding about one's own nature, which I personally believe everybody should try to understand their own nature, try to understand how the senses operate, how your mind can play tricks on you, and what is adharma, what is the dharma, what is the dharma and karma balance. Krishna consciousness is all about teaching the finding a perfect balance or ideal balance as per circumstances, as per person's individual ability. It teaches you how you can find the balance between dharma and karma, taking the extremism away on one person's consciousness and the mind. I give you one simple example of a Bhagavad Gita from a Krishna conscious point of view. Where in the battlefield, the Arjuna drops his weapon, say, I don't want to fight with my relatives. They are my grandfather, great grandfather, my cousins, and I'm going to fight with them. Rather, I renounce, I go live in a forest and be a monk. I rather choose that. Means his dharma is to fight for a truth, for the demonic nature, or the conspiracy played against them. But beyond that, his karma is also a warrior. If you deny your karma and and you hide behind the dharma, a problem, which is a many people use spirituality as a bypass from responsibilities. Spirituality is not a bypass from your karma. Spirituality is not a bypass from a karma. I give you an example of similarly, dharma is also not a bypass not to do your karma either. It goes vice versa, both ways. So the how you can train your senses, how you can train your mind to finding the balance in dharma and karma and developing a adaptability according to the time and circumstances. Mean basically you are mentally, intellectually flexible as well in your action as well as in your knowledge. You're not fixed. So that is my personal observation of Krishna consciousness is. So that represent sweetness, loving, caring, all these qualities in one should develop. It's not about you developing a ritualistic practice. If you developing just ritualistic practice, but not developing the qualities, it's not going to be worthwhile. I tell you a simple story of in the last days of Buddha. And Buddha was about to leave his body. And his senior disciple or his brother was Ananda at the time. Announced as tomorrow is Purnima, is the Buddha is about to leave his body. Whoever want to come along and take a darshan, which is a very common factor because one would figure everybody would like to see that person for the last time. And the message got viral and everybody coming along, there's massive queue to take his last darshan. But there was one guy will not move. He got stuck. I said, I don't want to move. I want to see Buddha. But without Buddha, if I come to see a Buddha, I should take a knowledge to awaken the Buddha inside me. If I come to see a Buddha, I'm walking away without that knowledge, I'm seeing a Siddhartha who's a body, who was a prince, no longer a Buddha. That person is not a Buddha if it's not given his teacher. The person is dead, and everybody tried to push him away. The Buddha resting heard the stubbornness of his some strong seeker. Buddha comes outside and said, leave it, I will give my last lecture. So if there is a knowledge, if you go to a river, why will you go to a river? To see? You can see it from far away, see it in the picture. Either you want to go have a bath in it, drink some water from it. If you're going to some source of transformation, you're going there to have something that can benefit you. So similarly, having a belief in something but not bringing those qualities inside you is not going to be transformative. So Krishna's qualities are loving, who steals one's mind, which is a chattering. If you can develop that awareness, then your chattering of the mind can disappear. So leading to that self-transformation in peace. So there are many qualities. There are 16 gunas Krishna has. If you're practicing, and bit by bit, you develop one guna after the other, and that reaches to the perfect balance of dharma and karma in life. On that note, I believe that is enough for today. We'll see you next month on the last Saturday. Thank you, Pranayama, everyone.